And when I can do that, now I can start targeting him. Okay. The third step is I need to create bait. Okay. It's got to be the right kind of bait, the bait that my dream client is going to bite. Okay. I look at some of my old offers, my own products. And so if one of my products is like, hey, how to get rich on the internet overnight doing nothing. Think Julie would be attracted to that? Probably not. Think Mike would? I don't think either Julie or Mike would want that. But if I created a product that was called DotComSecrets Labs, 108 of our best split test winners, and Julie's already got a website and she's doing well, but she wants it to do better, and she saw that bait, think she'd take it? How about Mike? Think you'd take that? Yeah. So I created bait that my dream client would be attracted to. Okay, it's just like I'm not a big fisher person, but let's say you want to go out and you knew exactly the type of fish you wanted to catch. Every fish has different bait, right? Okay, so if you throw the wrong bait in, you're going to get the wrong fish. You throw the right bait in, you're going to get exactly who you want. Okay, so after I've identified who my person is, I got to find out where those people are hanging out, and then I create bait that's going to attract my dream client. I throw that bait in there, and now I can get my dream client. That's how I get them. Now, after I've got them, I got to figure out where to want to take them. Okay, too many of businesses online and offline, and I'm sure too many of your guys' businesses, you're focusing so much on like, what's the product I can sell? What's a product? What's a product? But what you need to be focusing on is where can I take my dream client? Okay, where can I take that person to serve them at the highest level? Because that's a business. Okay, there's a big difference between a product and a business. A product is something you sell and you make some money with. A business is when you're working with somebody, you're taking somebody from where they are to somewhere else. Okay, and this is kind of a big step. We're going to talk about this as well throughout the training. Okay, but that's the secret formula, you guys. Initially, you need to think about that and focus on that. Who's my dream client? Where are those people at? What's the bait I'm going to create to attract those people? And after I got them, where do I want to take them? Okay, and again, you guys will see my process here as we go through. I'm going to be very transparent in this training. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. This webinar you're on right now was bait. It was bait to get you, my dream client here. And at the end of this, I'm going to show you where I want to take you. Okay. And that's, again, I'm practicing what I preach all day long. All right. Okay. So that was step number one. Step number two now is what I call the value ladder. And this is, I think when I first learned this concept and started understanding it, this was one of the biggest ahas for me. It helped me to really take our company to a whole different level almost overnight. And it's a concept that too many businesses don't understand. And usually when I first start working with people, I want them to understand this piece of it. Because if you understand this piece, almost all the rest of it will just kind of take care of itself. Okay, so this is called the value ladder. Now, again, the first time I started kind of learning about this, I was at a seminar and I heard this guy named Mike Littman talk. And Mike was talking about his business model. And he said, hey, I give away a free CD to get customers in, and then from there I sell them my coaching. I thought, okay, that makes sense. And he said, guess how much money I pay to give away a free CD? And I was like, I don't know, $2, $3? He said, on average, I'm paying between $30 and $60 to give away for every free CD that I give away. And in my head, I was like, are you stupid? Why would you do that? You're going to pay someone $60 to give away a free CD. Like, that makes no logical sense for me. And I remember like the wheels in my head turning, and then Mike got kind of quiet and he leaned into the mic and he said, do you want to know why I do that? And I was thinking, again, this is me as a 21-year-old kid. I said, why would he do that? And he said, because amateurs focus on the front end. Amateurs focus on the front end. And he said, to build a business the right way, you have to understand that you're building a business, not just a product. Okay? He said, because my business is structured the right way, I can spend $30 or $40 or $50 to give away a free CD, and it makes sense because I'm going to make that money up on the back end. Okay? So amateurs focus on the front end, and the inverse of that is people like us who understand business, understand that we're here to make money, that we're professionals and we're trying to grow a company. We understand that we focus on the back end. All right, so we hear that a lot, but what does that mean? Well, this is a good example from a company I'm sure you're all familiar with called McDonald's. Okay, now McDonald's, if you look at it right now, they spend about $1.91 in advertising to get somebody to come through the drive-through window. Okay, when they show up at that window, the average customer will pay $2.09 on a hamburger. Okay, so does that seem like a very good profit margin? They spent $1.91, they made $2, so McDonald's is making a whopping, like, what's that, 20 cents, 20, whatever the math is on that. Okay, 18 cents, even worse. They're only making 18 cents for every single person they get through the drive-through. And you're like, man, that Ronald McDonald is not that smart. He's a clown, he hasn't figured this out yet. But Ronald McDonald is actually very smart, right? Okay, someone comes through, they spend the $1.91 in ads, they get someone to come through to order a hamburger, they make their 18 cents, but then what do they say? Okay, they try to upsell you fries and a Coke. You want to supersize that? I don't think they say supersize that anymore, but if you look at McDonald's growth when they added in the supersize upsell, I said, hey, do you want to supersize this? Boom, their company took off. It exploded like never before. And so they added fries and Coke for $1.77 more, and guess what happened? Okay, from that $1.77, they got to make and keep a $1.32 profit. Okay, 8 times the profit by adding in the back end. Okay, now a lot of your companies right now, if you're struggling, I'm guessing you're missing part of it. You're either missing a front end or a back end or something in between. And so that's what we're going to talk about right now is a concept that we call the value ladder. Okay, and this is what a value ladder kind of looks like. Okay, you notice on the left-hand side, we got value, and the arrow goes up. So the more value you provide, the higher it goes here. And on the bottom side, we got price. Okay, and so as we move this direction, price gets more and more expensive. Now for me, if someone was coming to me and say, Russell, what's the best thing you have to offer? It's always going to be back here at the top of the value ladder. Okay, they're going to receive the most amount of value possible, and it's going to be the most expensive thing possible. Okay, for us, what do you think the most value I can possibly provide somebody is right now? Okay, so for me, it's a program that we actually launched recently, and it was almost as a joke initially because I didn't know if anyone was going to buy it, but we launched it, and we recently signed up our very first customer, and it's a $1 million package. Okay, the way it works is they pay us $100,000. Me and my team and I'm not sure how we say that, we fly out to their office and we set up their offer, we set up a mini call center for them, and we set up their traffic generation systems. We drive traffic. It's $100,000 up front, plus 10% of the profits, up to $10 million. At that point, we have made $1 million, and then the contract ends. So it's a $1 million package. That's the best value I could ever provide somebody. Okay, by far, hands down. That's how I can serve my customers at the highest level. Now, if I was walking up to you on the street and I was like, hey, great to meet you, man. I see you got a business here. You're a chiropractor. It's awesome. What I want to do is if you give me $1 million, I'll take your business to the next level. You in? Okay, what do you think you're going to say? You're going to say, no, Russell, you crazy? I'm not going to give you $1 million. There's no way you're that cool or even close to that cool, right? Okay, and then why is that? It's because at that point I provided no value. They don't know if I'm good or if I'm bad or anything. So what we do in the business is we start down here at the bottom left hand. Okay, where we provide a little bit of value at a little bit of cost, because people will test something, right? They'll test the waters and see if they like something. They'll try it out. Okay, this comes back to what we'll talk about here in a minute is our bait, right? But we're testing out something. We're putting some bait out there in the water, and someone's going to take it. Okay, for those of you guys who came through any of our funnels, it might have been the DotComSecrets Labs book, might have been another product, but there's some bait we put out there, right? And if you get that, it's not going to cost you very much, but if you get that and you like it and you receive value, what naturally happens next? You're like, man, that was awesome. I received value. It wasn't that expensive. What else do they have? And naturally, if they receive value at this level, they're going to naturally want to ascend up to the next level. Okay? And here now you can enter into something. You sell them something else, and they receive value at this level. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to ascend up to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. Okay? And that's how a value ladder works. It all has to do with how much value you can provide somebody. Okay? So for me, I come in and we give away our free DotComSecrets Labs book. Somebody goes through that experience, they get a bunch of stuff, and then they want the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and eventually we close people on our $8,000 coaching, our $25,000, our $1 million coaching, and they move up through a value ladder. Okay, and that's kind of how this thing works. But it all has to do 100% with how much value you provide people. Okay, if you're screwing people, which happens so much on the internet, guess what? You may get one shot. You got one transaction, you might get somebody, but it'll end there. But if you're providing real legitimate value, people will buy from you for years and years and years and years. And that's the goal of building a value ladder the right way. Okay, now on the bottom hand side here, you notice there's dollar signs going across this way. This is your continuity program. Because any good business, you got to have a value ladder, but you also need to have continuity where people are paying you monthly for access to software, for something. And we'll talk about how to create this later on in the presentation, but just so you understand from this diagram what that is. All right. Now, I want to show you guys a value ladder for a dentist. And I had an experience a couple years ago, that kind of illustrated this really, really well. So when I first started my business, we got started and we didn't, it was just me at first, and then my wife and I, and then we started hiring some employees. And after we had 4 or 5 employees, they all started asking us if we had benefits. And I had never had a job before. I didn't know what benefits meant. Turns out benefits means you pay for people's insurance and their dental insurance, all this stuff. And we'd never done that before. But I was like, you know what? Everyone's asking for it, so let's give everyone benefits. So we created this benefit package. And so for the first time in like 6 years, I had dental insurance, which was kind of exciting. And a little while later, I got a postcard in the mail that said, come in from a dentist that said come in for a free teeth cleaning. And I was like, sweet, I got my insurance now. I got this teeth cleaning, and the bait was set, right? The company put out some bait, and I took it. And I called the company up and said, yes, I want to get my teeth cleaned for free. They had me come in. Came in, I met the dentist, met the assistants, met everyone. They sat me down, they cleaned my teeth for free, and it was awesome. I was super excited. And while they're in there cleaning my teeth, the dentist says, hey, I just had a question for you. Do you smoke or do you drink coffee or anything? I was like, what? What are you talking about? I said, well, yeah, I noticed your teeth are kind of yellow. And I wasn't sure if it's because you're a smoker or drink coffee or what. I was like, my teeth are yellow. Are you serious? He said, yeah, well, they are. But I'm like, no, I don't drink or smoke or anything like that. He's like, oh, wow, I feel kind of awkward now. And I was like, well, what can you do about it? Like, I don't want yellow teeth. If you're noticing it, I'm sure everyone else is too. And he said, well, don't worry. We have these whitening kits, and we'll give you gel, and we'll give you all this stuff to whiten your teeth. I'm like, yes, please give me that. And and like a good marketer did, he provided more value. And because of that, he was able to sell me the next thing on his value ladder. Excuse me. So then a few minutes later, he's going through and he said, hey, so did you ever have braces? I said, yeah, how can you tell? He said, well, your teeth are kind of crowding, and that happens a lot of times when people had braces when they were young. I said, my teeth are crowding. He said, yeah, but if you want, we can create a retainer, and the retainer will keep your teeth in place, and that way it won't look like your teeth are all jacked up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, are you serious? Like my teeth are messed up? And he said, well, if you want me to make a retainer, I will. I said, yes, please make me a retainer. And that's where the value ladder ended for me. Had my teeth have been really messed up, I'm sure the next episode would have said, hey, Russell, I'm sure we can do this, and the next episode would have been cosmetic dentistry, whatever else it is. Okay, and then when I was leaving my checkup that day, the assistant said, hey, let's sign you up for 6 months from now to come back, and boom, they signed me up for their continuity program. Okay, so what just happened here? I came in, a dentist put out some really good bait. It was a free teeth cleaning. I came in and I received value. My teeth were getting cleaned. It was awesome. And then they figured out how could they provide more value to me, and boom, I wanted to get my teeth whitened. And they provided more value, and I kept ascending up this value ladder. I naturally wanted to ascend because I received value at each point. And I walked in on a free teeth cleaning, and I left with a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 bill. I don't remember what it was. And so that's how a value ladder works. Okay, I'm sure you guys have all been to the dentist before. You've seen this before. But now you'll probably respect your dentist more when you see that, man, they understand how to do this. Okay. And for me, it was kind of sad because my wife went in 2 days later with her free postcard teeth cleaning, and she walked away with whitening trays and a retainer as well. So they got both of us, and that postcard campaign probably made them $8,000 or $9,000 when all said and done. And then we've been clients now for them for almost 10 years. So it works, you guys. It works all day long. All right. So here's the value ladder for my company, just so I can be completely transparent. You guys will see this, and it'll make a lot of sense, okay? So the front of my value ladder, usually some kind of free quiz or a squeeze page or something where I'm trying to get somebody in the front door. After that, we give away a free book, free plus shipping. Okay, I'm guessing most of you guys on this webinar probably got this book. Next, we have our Invisible Funnel webinar, okay? For all you guys who are on this webinar right now, this is where you are in my value ladder, okay? You are currently on an Invisible Funnel style webinar where I'm training you for free and providing as much value as possible for two reasons. First off, I want to provide as much value as possible. Second off, if you like this, I'm hoping you're going to send up to either my home study course, one of my events, or my inner circle. There's my value ladder. Okay, we do it all day long. And then when you go through this process, my goal is to get you on my continuity program, which is a software product called ClickFunnels. And when you sign up for that, I get paid every single month. Okay, boom, there's full transparency. There is my DotComSecrets company. Okay, I can show you my value ladder for every one of my companies. One of the first things we map out when we come into a company, because the problem that most people have is they come in, they start a business and they've got one of these things. They don't have all of them. They got one, maybe two, and they struggle. Okay, a good example of that is one of my buddies is a chiropractor. And I hope we got a lot of chiropractors on this webinar right now. But typically, most chiropractors, they live and they die on their $40 or $50 adjustment. Okay, so one of my friends is a chiropractor. He started this new clinic, and he started doing this. He started getting clients and bringing them in and doing the adjustment, and he'd make $40 or $50 every time you get an adjustment. Boom. And then the continuity for them is keep coming in a couple times a week for adjustments. Okay, so he's got two pieces of this value ladder built out. And one day he called me and said, "Hey Russell, you're this great marketing guru. Give me some magic so I can grow my practice." And we started talking a little bit, and I was like, "Well, tell me about your business." And he explained it. And I was like, "So all you do is just adjustments?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What else do you provide people?" He's like, "That's it. That's what we do." And I was like, that's kind of interesting. Let me think about it a little bit and I'll get back to you. And so literally like a week later, some of you guys know my background. I was a wrestler in high school and in college. And a couple years ago, I started this wrestling club, and I actually flew out the entire. I had the entire Olympic Greco wrestling team move to Boise, and we built a whole training center, and it was really a really fun project for a couple of years. And we had all these guys training here for the Olympics, and we had a chiropractor who was coming in a couple times a week to adjust the guys. And one day after practice, the chiropractor called, and she wasn't able to show up. But all the guys were like, "Man, our spines hurt, our neck hurts." We're throwing each other around just in a pretty bad spot. And so they needed to be adjusted. And one of the wrestlers was an intelligent guy, and he said, "You know what? I can figure this out." And he went on YouTube and he typed in chiropractic adjustment. And within 5 minutes, he watched someone explain how to do it. He went into the room and he adjusted every single person on the team. And I wasn't there that day, but he called me afterwards and told me, he said, "Hey, I'm a chiropractor now. I adjusted everyone on the team." And he told me the kind of the process, the story, and I started laughing so hard. I said, "Hey, I got to call someone. I'll call you back." So I called my buddy who's a chiropractor, and I called him up and I was like, "Hey man, just so you know, my friend," and he knew the guy as well. I said he was able to replicate every single thing you do in your business, and he learned it in 5 minutes on YouTube. And I kind of waited. And what happened next was really funny. My buddy, the chiropractor, he obviously got upset. Okay, he'd gone to who knows how many years of school to become a chiropractor, and he came on. He's like, "You can't just do that. You can't." He's like, "You're minimalizing what we do as a profession and this and this." And I let him kind of rant for a minute, and I got a big smile on my face. And then I stopped and I said, "Wait." I said, "If I was calling just to make fun of you, I probably wouldn't have called you. But there's a lesson behind this." I said, "What else did you learn while you were in medical school? Did you learn other stuff besides how to do an adjustment?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I learned how to do this and health and wellness and how we can solve fibromyalgia. We can do this." And like he started just brain dumping everything he learned over his 5 or 6 or however many year degree, right? And I was making a list of all this stuff. And then when he got done, I said, "So let me ask you, when any of your clients come in, do you ever offer them more value? Do you ever show them how you can, all the stuff you learned, do you ever provide that to any of them?" And he was like, "No." I said, what would happen if you did an adjustment for somebody and they just receive value from you, they feel better, their back feels better, and then you came to them and said, "Hey, I noticed you got fibromyalgia. I actually have this program. It's a 6-week program that can help you to overcome your fibromyalgia. It's not cheap, but it'll cure you of your pains, and you will feel a million times better. Would you be interested in that?" And the person looks down at their hands and looks at their feet and say, "Man, I'm really struggling. I would love to do that. I would love to receive more value from you. Here's a check for $5,000 or $10,000. Okay, I said, "Imagine what that would be like." And all of a sudden, it clicked on him. He said, "There's tons of stuff I could sell, Russell. I could sell weight loss coaching. I could sell natural health. I can sell all these different things to people. I can provide way more value to my clients than I am right now." I said, "Yeah, man, there's so much stuff. There's so many tools, so many gifts that you guys have, every one of you guys on this call, that you have that you could provide your people, but you don't. And I don't know if it's because you're afraid to sell or you don't know how to do it. But if you look at it like this way and you think, what else? How can I provide more value to my clients? Suddenly it opens up a whole new dimension in your business. Suddenly you've got a back end. Okay, and after you have this back end in place, now you can spend more money to acquire a customer. Okay, I told you before, Mike Littman said, amateurs focus on the front end. People that just have a front end, they don't have all this money. Okay, for him to make $5,000, how many $50 adjustments does he have to do? It's a lot, right? Was it 100? $150 adjustments make $5,000. Now, if he got one of those 100 people to say yes to his $5,000 coaching program, he doubled his money instantly. Okay, you guys getting this? Do you see how this works? So that's what he did here. Now, the next kind of lesson I had with him, I said, look, the other issue is like, right now, an adjustment's not really like that good of bait. Okay, if someone's back is hurting him, you throw out this bait. That's one thing. You can get somebody in the front door, but it's not really good bait to attract who you want. Okay, if you're trying to sell people, especially diet, weight loss, holistic things, like you need better bait to get your dream client in. Okay, and so I said we need to start crafting it and figure out what that bait on the front end is going to be. And so we've tested a bunch of different things. One of the ones he's had a ton of success with is he started doing free massages. Okay, someone comes in for a massage and they receive value from this massage. And in fact, here it is right here. They receive value from the massage. The masseuse says, hey, I noticed that 2 of your ribs are out of place. You'd like doctor to come in here and adjust you. And of course, the person is like, yes, please let him come in and provide more value to me. The chiropractor comes in, pops the ribs back in place, does a quick adjustment, and boom, provided more value. Now gets them on an adjustment plan. Okay. Now this is a really good value ladder for a chiropractor. Okay. He's also doing now with these really cool wholeness classes he's doing. He's going to companies and doing these